we're back in the game animation sample project with our character. You don't need to have done any of my other tutorials, but if you have done my other tutorials, then we will link them right at the end and chain them together. But if you just want to be able to pop your character up in the air and then start doing a little combo combat system like Devil May Cry style-y, then this is all you need to be able to do that. But if you've done my others, then we'll link them all together here and they'll all be working as we would expect them. Look at that. Ooh, popping around. So it's a pretty easy tutorial to follow, but if you do get stuck, then please drop a comment below or join our Discord and we'll help you out. And yeah, check out the combat tutorial if you've not been following that, and check out our finishes tutorial as well, all in GASP. And have a lovely day. First thing we need is some animations, so we're going to go to Mixamo and we're going to grab a character. You want it in the original pose, and we're going to click download, and then we're going to go to animations, and we want a launch animation, like a sword animation, and we want like a attack for when we're in the air as well. Now, most of these are pretty bad, honestly. So I'm going to get this sword and shield slash. That won't be our launch one. We need to download it without skin. That'll be our in-air attack or our basic attack. And also, this one's pretty good. Right, so we want stable sword inward slash, and we want to increase the angle here. And then that gives it like a little flick up. What if we do the emphasis? No, we want the emphasis at 100 to give it more oomph. Gives it a bit of hit. There we go. That'll do. So now we've got our launch attack, our in-air attack, and our on the ground attack. That's what we want. Okay, so now we're going to create a new folder for our Mixamo stuff. And we're going to import the character first. And just import it. And then from after that, we're going to import those 3 animations. I'm going to make sure that those import correctly and they go to character 1 skeleton. Import those. And then we're going to grab all 3 of them, so you can select the first one, press shift, select the end one, it grabs all of them, and we're going to retarget them. We're going to retarget them to the UEFN skeleton, grab all 3, and select export animations, and we'll make a new folder called air combo system, and we'll export those into there. We've got the rising slash, which is good, and we've got the sword slash as well, which is good. Cool. Okay, so let's start work with our stable sword inward slash. We're going to right click that and create anim montage. That's beautiful. So you've got some choices here. Now you can either have it so that every time it does this stable slash, it goes up in the air, or only when it hits someone does it then go up in the air. And we're going to do it both. So I'll show you both. That's not a big deal. So to do that, we're going to need to create a new blueprint class of an actor component. So we can call this BPC air combo or air launch, whatever you want. And inside here, we're going to need a custom event. And this will be our launch character. And then from here, we want to right click and get owner. And then we're going to cast to character. And from there, we're going to do launch character. we're going to right click the launch character velocity and change this to 1000 and tick both of these. And charecter is the overarching class of all our characters, and launch character is only available inside charecter. But because charecter is always loaded, so because it's a parent class of our player, because it's always loaded and it's an empty class, then we're fine to cast to it. It doesn't create this link. Whereas if I cast to BP third person, I would only be able to use that here. Whereas charecter, like when we go to set up an enemy, if we right click, go to blueprint class, and charecter is the parent class, so the enemies will be able to use this as well. Right, back in our content drawer, we're going to right click, and in our blueprint class we are going to create a new anim notify, and we're going to press select, and this will be an launch charecter. And then on the override, we're going to receive the notify, and from mesh component, we're going to get owner. This is getting the owner of the mesh of the animation that's playing. We're going to get component by class. We're going to get the air launch component, and we're going to call launch charecter. And then inside our sandbox, we can right click, get the left mouse button, and we can do play montage. Make sure our mesh goes to our skeletal mesh, and our montage is the slash with slash. We go to our inward slash. We can then right click and add notify for AN launch charecter. We can do it just about there, and now we can test it. So I've pressed the left mouse button, do this montage, and we don't launch. Because we haven't added the air combo to the sandbox character. So we need to add air combo to the sandbox character. Compile that, save it, try it again. There we go. And that launches us in the air. And that's, we can do that on any sort of combo. So you could go combo 1, combo 2 into this montage, then it will launch themselves into the air. I don't really want to do it like that. I only want it to happen if I hit something. So I'm just going to delete that out of there. Come out, and we're going to go to blueprint class, and we're going to create a anim notify, but this time we're going to go down to state. And this will be ANS hit trace. And then inside BPC air combo, we're going to do a new custom event. And this will be start trace. This will get the set timer by event. And we'll loop this every 0.01 seconds. So we'll tick loop in, click time. This return value will promote to a variable. This will be our trace loop. And our custom event, we're going to call sword trace, although it likely won't be a sword right now. I'm going to right click and get owner, and then we're going to get at location, and then we're going to get at rotation, and we're going to line trace by channel, and get anyone that's blocking the camera channel. From get at to rotation, we're going to get forward vector, and then we're going to add that to get at to location. Plug that into the end, and just between forward vector and this plus, we're actually going to want a multiply as well. So we want a multiply node, and to plug that in. So it goes multiply plus line trace. Right click this bottom multiply and we'll get the float, and that'll be like 100 in front of us. We will swap this to be an actual weapon and sword once we get one, but right now this will do. And then out hit, get a branch, get out hit, break hit result. From hit actor, we want to get component by class again, and then we want the air launch, air combo, and then we're going to call launch character, and that's going to be true. So this will do the enemy launch, and then if it's true for us, we want to do our launch character as well. And just so that we're not launching ourselves more than once, we're going to just put a do once there. And then this custom event, we need another custom event. And we'll say reset. So we'll put that into the reset as well. We also want another custom event for ending the trace. So add custom event, called end trace. And we'll get the trace loop. And we'll do clear and invalidate timer by handle, and we'll do reset launch as well. So then in our ANS hit trace, we're going to go to override, receive notify begin, and receive notify end. We'll start on the begin again, get owner, get component by class, want the air launch component, air combo component, and then we're going to start the trace. And then we're going to copy these two nodes, the get owner and the get component, and go to the receive notify end. Plug mesh component into target, and then from return value, we're going to want end trace. We'll compile that. And now if we go to the stable slash thing, we can do a trace from where we start slashing. So add notify state, ANS hit trace, and then it goes from there to there. Boom. There we go. Okay, so we want an enemy as well. So we're going to right click, go to blueprint class, create a character. This will be our BP enemy. We'll do a SKM echo and bring them down, and then twist them by 90 as well. And then we'll just check their collisions. So we'll go to details, check their collision, because we're tracing for the camera channel, so that should be fine. Check on the capture as well, tracing for the camera channel, that's also fine. Oh, and then back in BP enemy, we need to also add the air combo event as well. So get our enemy and drag them out, and then play from here. And yeah, I've got it on that button. So now there's our enemy and us both in the sky, which is already pretty good. Okay, but obviously I can do multiple attacks and doing the same attack and knocking them up, and we don't really want that. So it's already pretty solid, to be fair. We're able to do cool stuff. So we'll go to our sandbox character and we'll do wrench, and we'll just get is falling. If it is falling, then we play the montage here. The other thing that I would want to do is in air combo, I would want to get the owner and get component by class. it would be their movement component this time, character movement component. And I want to set gravity scale. Do I want to do that? That's not gonna slow them down in the air. Basically, we want to make them hover, so like when we are hitting them, they stay more in the air, but they don't. So like that, because right now we can do attack, go attack. Can't do that because I've just done this branch, but if I did this, so we attack again, it bounces us back up, and we just keep bouncing up and up. So that's why we stopped being able to do that, but I want to have like a ceiling that they reach so that they can't go any higher, and for a moment they just stay still, so we can like activate 3 or 4 combos and mess around a little bit. So go to branch, do that, and then inside air combo, so here we're launching them, so it's not going to be a launch. Oh, let's set it up. Let's get our custom event, and we'll do set gravity. Okay, and from there we can do set gravity scale, and that can be 0. And then we can do a retriggerable delay at 2 seconds. And if we grab this again, duplicate it, so Control D once you've selected all, and then we can set this to 0.3. What we can do is this hit actor, we can promote to a variable. Then we can do the same thing for our hit actor as well. So we can get component by class and gravity scale. And set that to 0. And then set it back so that they start falling slowly as well. It's just about when we want to do that, and we don't want to do it on each air attack. So we're going to get another branch from here, and we're going to get the owner and component by class, again character movement, and we'll do is falling. And if that's true, then we can call set gravity. And if it's false, then we do our air launch. Beautiful. Okay, now back in sandbox character, we're going to look for our other attack. So we're going to look for the sword and shield slash. This one will do. I'm going to right click it, create anim montage. And then again, we want the line trace event. So add notify state, hit trace. And this one here. So we're going to duplicate this play montage bit again. And we want the sword and shield slash this time. If that's true, we're going to put that up here. Left click, we launch them, and then we've got our sword and shield slash. Let's set it to 0. But we're going to carry on going all the way up in the air. So we don't want that. So we want to get this and set velocity to 0. And that should stop us. Hey, where'd you go? So we also want to set the velocity for the enemy as well. So again, component by class, copy that, get the enemy velocity and set it. So hit actor into both of those and set it across. So we're basically hitting them, putting them up in the air, and then for stopping how fast up we're going on the Z. So we hit them, we don't do anything because our event is triggering, so BPC air combo. So if we put end trace here between the branches, and then we've got an attack and we can combo off here, and then when we stop we fall back down, we jump up, and they don't have an event on landed. So we go to BP enemy, go to event graph and do event on landed, and we can get character movement and set gravity scale to 1. So here we go, hit, start our combo, bash, 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 do all the combo stuff, go back down, go again, combo, bash, 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 bash. Go like that. Maybe 2 seconds is too long on our air combo. Maybe 1 second will be enough. So combo, bash, and then start to go back down. The beauty of this is we can hit that combo at any point of our enemy, and then we're attacking them and they're stopping in the air, and so are we. So you can play all your hit reactions and start maxing out your combos and everything like that. So that's pretty cool. We're gonna make it fancy and we're gonna add sword, but also some animations. So I'm just gonna get the animation pack that I've got that I know comes with a sword. As character, we'll add a static mesh, and I'll make this the katana. And then we can check the viewport and we can parent that to the hand R. We can move it down a little bit and rotate it 180 degrees as well. And now if we go to that katana, am I holding the handle? Yeah, no, that's good. I'll go to that katana, I can open that up, and I can add in 2 sockets. And the first one will be end. The first one will be start and the second one will be end. We've got start and end. So where the sword starts and where the sword ends. And then in our air combo, rather than getting the owner and getting the actor location, we can just do get component by class, get the static mesh component. And if you have more than one component, then you can do get components by tag, and you can tag that component as like weapon or something. And then we can do get socket location, duplicate that. So Control D to duplicate that. And then we want start with a capital, and we want end. Plug those into, you guessed it, start at the end. So now when we swing our sword, it will have to hit, but let's make that visible and see what we've got. Okay. Definitely that, definitely that. Definitely that. So let's check that we're reaching this. We can add a breakpoint here. Okay, so this is why, because it's picking up this camera, the static mesh. And so we're going to use get component by tag. Do static mesh component and do weapon is the tag. And just get a copy at index 0. And then we'll go back to sandbox character, get the static mesh, type in tag. This one will be weapon. And now we've got the katana. So we just added a breakpoint by right clicking to add a breakpoint, and then we can check all that detail. And there we go. You can see that we tracing. And this is because we have collision turned on. So we need to go back to our static mesh and no collision. There we go. We're hitting there, but we're not hitting on that one. Okay. So probably the position of the sword needs changing a little bit, but we're only testing and messing around with stuff now. Okay, right. So that's our sword all sorted. Now we're gonna import all of our chooser stuff. So now we've also got our combat file here. And if we open up this chooser table, so this was set up in our previous combat tutorial system. And now if we do new row, and we want that to be our katana, and we want it to be the slash that we've got. Saber swords upward slash, and we want that to be between 1.9 and 2.1. So we'll do our first attack here, our second attack, and then our third attack will be this upward slash. Do 5 damage, and then we'll duplicate that, and we want the sword and shield slash montage that we've got, and that triggers if we are in air. So then that goes to our 0, and we can have our jump attack as the trigger number 2, so 0.9 to 1.1. Okay, we'll get rid of these spear ones to not confuse us, because we're only going to use katana. So now we've got ground attacks and we have our jump slash attack. So we need to do a couple of things. So now we also need to get the combo increase and go into each of our attacks. So number 2, right where the combo would increase. So this does a slash in here, increase the combo, and we could also reset the combo at the end in case we don't achieve it. And then in our slash, just there, we're going to reset the combo here too. So our upward slash will be our last one, so we'll reset the combo for that. And then inside our sword and shield slash, we're going to increase the combo just about here. So combo increase, and again, if we don't hit it, then we want to reset the combo at the end. And then last one, for our jump attack, we've got a reset combo right at the end as well. Just make sure the root motion's turned on this jump attack. Sweet. So we should be ready to go. Except we've not added it to our character. So we'll add combat to our character, EPC combat, and then we'll remove this left mouse button. And we'll add the left mouse button to here. Although this has IA attack, it didn't migrate over properly. So everything works. And set our weapon type as well. So combat. Our weapon type is katana. There we go. So now we've got our ground combo here into our slash. Let's get that sorted. And then this one into our big combo just there. Like that. Full combo setup attacks as well. Although you will have taken way more time and getting a really nice result.